Hey guys, Brant here. Just wanted to make a quick video. Yesterday I was out doing work and I had a thought come to me. And if anyone's been looking at my channel, you know I'm self-employed. I do lawn care and pressure washing. I'm at that point where I'm really thinking about hiring somebody. I've got somebody working with me about 15 hours a week. He has a part-time, he has a full-time job, so he's just kind of helping me on the side. So just wanted to make a little quick video detailing out these two ways of thinking for those of you who are self-employed and are thinking about hiring somebody. I have extended an opportunity to someone. Been talking to him a few weeks ago about coming on and working with me a little bit more full-time than what this other gentleman is helping me, just a little bit here and there. Took out a little ad, someone responded, a couple of people responded. I went with the best candidate, and he told me we arranged a day for him to come meet me. He never showed. So didn't call, text, nothing. And I talked to him the night before. So he was a college kid, and so there I was, high and dry the next day. Luckily it was manageable as far as what I had to do. So didn't really mess me up too bad. But still, it kind of put me in a little bit of a predicament, especially because it was going to rain that afternoon. And had I got some rain, I would have been in a mess. But luckily, it all panned out. Anyway, off on a tangent. So the question becomes, should I hire somebody or should I not? The pains of either scenario are there. This is my second year full-time in a solo operation, self-employed, and I do all the labor, everything, invoices, buying equipment, maintaining equipment, whatever you name it. And then I'm also the technician, the person out in the field doing the work. So I do everything, and that's pain. That's a pain. It is a pain, literally, when you're out there in 95-degree heat and is severely uncomfortable. So that is one pain of being solo. The other pain of having someone work for you is, well, what I just experienced the other day. The guy doesn't show. So, and this happened to me as recent as yesterday with the fellow who was helping me currently. Not really of a fault of his own, but his main job called him and said they were having trouble with a piece of equipment on his job. He had to run out there for about an hour, and it messed up my schedule. So the question becomes, should you become as efficient as possible, increasing your prices, dropping the customers who don't want to pay you as much, get the best equipment you can, and become as efficient as you possibly can on your own? Or the other side of that is that should you leverage someone else's time to help you become more prosperous? And I think the answer to that is all dependent upon what your goals are. I am at the point where it's not fun for me anymore to go out there and work 10 or 12 hours a day in the heat. And I'm 42 years old, so it's only going to go downhill from here as far as how much I'm going to enjoy it, because it is literal pain, to keep it up. So, I think my answer is, this is middle of August, August 16th, I believe it is. I'm going to carry through this year doing what I'm doing with the gentleman who is able to help me a little bit here and there. Next year, I'm playing around with the idea about starting the year and just having the mindset that I'm not going to be, you've heard the quote, get off the truck. It's kind of overused, but, you get off the truck so you can work on your business, not in your business. That's what I'm planning on doing, for better or for worse. I think that if you base your whole business idea on being disappointed by one or two people who you have working for you, you're not going to do very well. You can curl up in a shell and try to do things on your own, and you can make on your own. If you do everything on your own, if you're in the type of business I'm in, you might be able to squeeze out $50,000 a year after you pay all your expenses and stuff like that, solo. Maybe more. It kind of depends on what you're doing, where you live, but it could be less. Just kind of depends on how much debt you have on equipment and stuff like that, which is a whole nother topic altogether. But, food for thought for you all who is in a situation that I'm in. And, some of you may just want to stay solo and do it until you retire, whatever. Other people recognize the fact, and I'm pretty sure this is the category I'm in. I recognize the fact that in order for me to continue this business venture and me not lose steam, I'm going to have to get into a place where I'm over the operation and looking down on it and working things out. Hiring people and talking to customers and organizing things. I think that's going to be my what I'm going to have to do, and for multiple reasons. But anyway, just a little video. Wanted to share my thoughts on this. I think next year, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to solidify this thought in my mind, is that next year I'm going to start off and I'm going to by the beginning of the year, March, I'm going to have already talked to several people and have them lined up. And if any of you listen to, I believe it's a lawn care millionaire who coined this phrase, building your bench. Don't hold me to that, because I'm not 100% sure. But he said, I've watched some of his videos enough to know where he'll talk about constantly talking to people and hiring them, and it's just a process of building your bench. And I worked at a automotive shop for 10 years before I started doing what I'm doing now. And the shop foreman or dispatcher, whatever you want to call him, he said something to me one time that just kind of really stuck with me. And one of the technicians that had been there for a couple years just up and quit. He gave his notice and whatnot, but he didn't let everybody know that he was leaving until like the very last minute. Although he put in his 2-week notice with management. Anyway, the shop dispatcher just said, well, it's just another hole to fill. And that's all it is to it. And you have to be in that mentality if you're going to hire people, because people will come and people will go and people will disappoint you, and you have to expect it. And once you expect it, and you don't go relying on just one person, but systems in place, and be ready to step in when that person quits. I mean, you're going to have to, until you can find somebody else. And constantly be talking to people. I have people lined up and say, hey, opportunity might come open. I mean, be talking to 10 people. I mean, right, consistently. And then when someone quits, have someone lined up. I mean, I don't know what else to do, but I think that come March 2021, that is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to expect to go out there, get in my truck and drive to the job and physically do it. I'm not. I think I'm done with that. I'm going to start the year, and I'm going to have someone lined up, a couple of people lined up, is going to do the physical labor for me. And then that way I can be free to do what I do best, which is marketing and talking to people and lining quotes up, and lining jobs up, doing quotes and stuff like that. And I think that is the only way to really grow and get out of that, making $50,000 a year, give or take, where you can move on up to making $100,000 a year, and hopefully more, a whole lot more if you're, bigger business or whatnot. But I'm just talking about taking, baby steps. If you make $50,000 a year this year and you work all on your own, well, next year if you're leveraging your time, leveraging someone else's time, you can. The goal obviously is to make more. So, my goal would be to. Doing that would be to double my, take-home pay, from the business, or net profit of the business. And so anyway, just my thoughts. And sorry to ramble, but this is something that's weighing heavily on my mind. It's pretty fresh, being that I just got disappointed recently by a couple of different people, and yet I still recognize that for longevity, I'm still going to have to figure out how to leverage someone else's time, and or leverage my time. I don't know how I'm phrasing that wrong, but anyway, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, that's my thought for today. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend.